What's up, YouTube? My name is Chad. This is the Wisco Boater channel. Welcome back to an episode of winter maintenance on board Thirsty Whale. This is going to kind of be an overview of some smaller projects that I did over the weekend that I did not video. Not really worth videoing, but just want to show you what I have done. So we're going to start by going up on the bow. I'll show you the anchor safety chain and pin that I installed. And then we'll come back in and show you a couple things in the salon here. And a small update to the fuel fill hoses. So let's head up to the bow. Okay, and walking up to the front of the boat here. Yesterday I did get the anchor safetied. So this anchor is not the correct anchor for this davit. You can see it doesn't fit down in the channel like it should, but I was able to get it safetied by using the previous hole where the bolt used to go through here, and I moved it forward to get the anchor from hitting the tip of the plow from hitting the boat. So I was able to use that hole with an 832 bolt, some stainless chain, and a 1/2-inch pin. The pin I'm probably going to replace again. It's got 5/8 worth of usable length. I bought that just to be sure that I had enough length on it, but I think I'm going to get a 1/2-inch by 1/2-inch and replace that pin. So the main thing here is if the windlass ever let go or the switch got stuck in the closed position forward, the anchor's not going to go any farther than the length of that chain. And yeah, it's a small bolt down there, but 70,000 psi tensile strength, and it's barely going to move a 1/2-inch if it ever did go forward. So I'm not worried about any sort of breakage with the little bolt there. It might bend a little bit. I highly doubt it since it's under the head of the bolt. I just can't see the head breaking off with that little bit of movement. So anchor is now safetied. So it's good to be checking some things off the list. Okay, come back down in the salon. You can see the countertop is not yet installed. I won't have that until probably the end of February, early March. So this is now my workbench and liquor ledge, since the liquor ledge is still torn apart. So as you saw in I think last week's video, the new hoses are in, and I did put some foam insulation. That's not the pool grade stuff, that's construction grade. And I put a little bit of metallic metal tape on the back side of it to protect that a little bit further from rubbing against that the wood that's back there. So that will protect my hoses. And it still kind of looks like a mess in here. It's much better than it was. I have a little bit of tidying up to do with this bunch of wires here. There's a couple of them that are not used, and I don't like unused wires being in a bundle of wires that are being used. I'm not going to pull them out, but I'm going to set them aside. So lift this cover up, and just kind of set it in place there. And I'm going to show you the SVS battery monitor. I got to get my batteries turned on first though. All right, I've got my batteries turned on. I'm gonna turn this light away just a little bit so you can see the LEDs a little bit better. So this did not work at all when I bought the boat. It was, all the wires were cut. So I figured out the wiring. I found an unused bundle of 4 wires that were run down to the engine room. And I was able to use those to wire up to the batteries, and then power and ground just comes from the back side of this cabinet here underneath the helm, where there's a fuse panel and a ground block. So I now have power, and you can see it starts scanning the 4 batteries, the 4 battery banks, and it just keeps scanning and gives you voltage up here, which we're about 12.4 or 5. So full charge is 12.6. We're pretty close. the rectifier is on, but it doesn't, I don't think it stays on long enough to really get the batteries a good full charge. So, because I'm only here for a few hours a day. If there is a fault with the battery, there's a red light that will turn on here. If you want to check any specific battery, you can just use this bank selector here, which has 2, 4, and 3. It automatically defaults to 1. So if you want to check, let's wait till it gets to battery 3. You want to check 2 specifically, it'll go to 2. Okay, and then it resets and starts scanning again. So that's how you want to check a specific battery. So the batteries are down here, of course. And the way I have these laid out is, this is the port side start battery. So that's battery number 1. Starboard side start battery, that's battery number 2. And then that battery there is the house battery, battery 3. That battery back there is dedicated for the anchor windlass. And now that I have that SVS battery monitor hooked up and working, I know the wiring is good. I'm going to look for a 4-bank battery monitor, digital version, to replace that. So while that works fine, it's not precise with the LEDs to give you exact voltage. So I want to get a battery monitor with a screen to mount there that will monitor 4 batteries, and just should be able to just hook up existing wiring to a new unit. So that will probably be a video. When I was putting the hydraulic hoses in, if you watch that video, fairly early in the video when I was starting to push these through, the windlass turned on. So I kind of wiggled around a little bit, and the anchor windlass kind of would turn on and off, on and off, on and off, almost like the switch was being activated very quickly. But I think I figured out what that was. So we'll go to the other side and I'll show you. All right, hopefully you can see this. So if we go up inside here, get these wires out of the way. There's a black wire that's now zip tied in the down, facing down. Right above that, where that green wire goes into the switch, that's the anchor windlass switch. I think that black wire was loose. Well, it was loose. And I think when I moved this wire, because of pushing the hoses through, that terminal was contacting 2 contacts on the switch and activating the switch. So I haven't tested this yet to see if that actually is the case. There, we can see it better. I need to have somebody with me just in case I have some sort of windlass issue, runaway, or something like that. The interesting thing about this happening when it did, my next project was to safety the anchor, and I'm lucky that the windlass was retracting the chain, and it's super tight now. It's actually at its limit, so there's quite a bit of pressure on the davit right now, but I don't have the batteries hooked up. I pulled the breaker, so the switch is not active. But if that was contacting the side of the switch to deploy the anchor would have been on the swim platform of the boat in front of me, and it probably wouldn't have been pretty. That's a project for next time, when I'll have some help here to check over things while I'm up here messing around with the wiring. One more thing to show you, and then we'll wrap this one up. Oh, one real quick thing before I show you the last thing in this video that I wanted to show. I did get these lift stickers to put on the side of the boat. These are vinyl stickers, so they're outdoor stickers. So I'm going to put lift stickers where the slings go for launching the boat and hauling the boat. I don't really like these though. They're just, I don't like the white sticker around the word lift. So I think what I'm going to do is have my neighbor Ursula make me some letters that say lift out of outdoor vinyl, and with some transfer tape, I'll get those installed and it'll look much better. All right, and the last thing I'm going to show in this video is an update on the fuel fill hoses. If you watched the video from 2 or 3 weeks ago, you saw me start to take a look at these to pull them out, and I did get the vent hoses taken care of. But what I want to show here is I'm actually quite glad or happy that I did not pull the fill hoses off. As you can see, the fuel fill hose attaches to the side of the fuel tank, and my fuel tanks are full. Had I pulled that hose off, I would have had gas everywhere. It would have been a mess. It would have ruined the carpet. It would have gotten down in the bilge. I don't know how quickly I would have been able to get it back on to stop it, but that was a lucky break, I guess, that I could not get these off without the correct hose picks the last time I was here. So this is going to be an in-water project after the boat launches. I got to burn down some fuel, make sure I'm not going to have any spillage when I pull these hoses off. So that ended up being a good thing. So there will be a fuel fill hose video coming up at some point this year, probably fairly early in the season. Take the boat out, get some gas burned off, and then we'll get the hoses replaced. So watch that video coming up here pretty soon. That's pretty much it from a small project standpoint from what I did this weekend. It is today's Monday, February 20th, it's President's Day, and our company was nice enough to add a winter holiday for us this year. So I came up here, worked Saturday and Sunday all day, and just here for a few hours this morning before I headed back home. So just wanted to give an update on the other little things that I worked on that didn't get dedicated videos. Hope you enjoyed this one. See you next time on the Wisco Boater channel. Happy boating, everybody.